Good afternoon to you. Mark Sutton with HurricaneTrack.com here. It is now Monday, the 8th day of January 2024, and you already know there is a major winter storm ongoing now in the nation's midsection, and that is going to spread snow, blizzard conditions, severe weather, which is going to be a very big story, wind, rain, flooding, more severe weather through tonight and into tomorrow, and literally millions and millions of people are going to be impacted by this. Truly an epic, big impact, high impact, any way you want to cut it. This is the one that you hype up. This is the one that you sound the alarms about. The severe weather side of things, lives are going to be at stake tonight and tomorrow night. This is very serious. So I hope people are really paying attention. I'm going to go through, general broad brush strokes on everything just to make sure you are aware. Most people certainly are that are being affected by this, which is pretty much everybody east of the Rockies now and in the coming days. And I'll talk a little bit about the coverage that I'm doing out here working with our HurricaneTrack crowdfunded folks and, of course, Fox Weather. And here I'm in Kansas, by the way. I'm in Dodge City covering the beginnings of this major winter storm that's going to have big impacts over the next several days. And then it just keeps on going from there. Let's start off with this. Look at that. Incredible. Most of the country now, majority of it, is covered by some kind of watch or warning situation. Only a few areas in parts of the Ohio Valley and elsewhere, little parts of Appalachia, however you want to call it, these wide areas, nothing really to speak of in terms of watches or warnings. Everything else, the patchwork of craziness, high impact weather, that is what we are seeing here. So this is just going to progress, and it's going to keep going. 2 or 3 more storms to get through. So here's the satellite animation courtesy of our friends at Tropical Tidbits. There is the storm system, very well modeled several days ago. I'm way over here in western Kansas and in the Dodge City area. Went over to Garden City recently, and it's snowing pretty good over there. The roads are starting to get pretty nasty. Visibility is closer to Garden City, getting close to that 1/4 mile or less. I'll show you some video of that in just a minute. But this is the setup. This storm system here is going to move its way across the country and then up the coast, and not necessarily offshore like that, but it is going to have big, big impacts. In fact, this is going to be one of those cutters that comes up across this way. Let me just show it to you on the GFS in just a minute so as to not confuse you. So the severe side of things is really, really important here. Let's go to the convective outlooks. Nighttime strong tornadoes, I mean, it is a nightmare. I don't know if you have dreams about severe weather. A lot of people that I know do that don't even track the stuff like I do professionally. There's just something about it. It is this primordial, early, I don't know, it has to do with something with evolution probably. Lightning, tornadoes, severe weather. It's the stuff that nightmares are made out of. What could happen tonight and tomorrow night? So this is very, very serious. We've got the enhanced risk up in the orange, I guess you'd call it. The yellow is the slight. Houston, where the college championship game is tonight, the football game in the greater Houston area. And let me drop me out so I can look at some of these different aspects of it. The tornado threat, pretty significant over a large area of the Gulf Coast there. And these are going to be after nightfall. The wind threat, also substantial. Storm warnings in effect, not tropical storm, but just storm warnings. 60 knots or greater of wind onshore, big problems for marine interest. And then the hail threat in January is not nothing. It's 15%. So it is a very dynamic storm situation here. The tornado threat being the most deadly, obviously, and people in the deep south, Gulf Coast areas that are in this area, the yellow and the orange especially, those tornado watches will go up. This is one of those nights, if you're into the weather, you know people that follow the weather, you got to stay up. You got to stay up, text people, call people, message them on whatever you're using, and really sound those alarms that you've got to pay attention, because the wording from the Weather Service offices down there is very strong, that we could be looking at, and including the Storm Prediction Center, that we could be looking at violent, large, long-lived tornadoes in January. It is very serious, so make sure you are aware and you have something that you can do if you're caught in one of those and it hits your structure to try to protect your head, your torso, most of all, interior, room, get pillows, anything you can to just make sure you are protected. Some of these tornadoes are going to be quite violent, unfortunately. And then it goes through tomorrow. I live in Wilmington. They're in the enhanced. Schools are going to be getting out early all across the area. I've been getting alerts from my children's school districts. It is a big deal tomorrow as well. The tornado threat also substantial in the yellow areas. Very, very rare to see this in January. It is not, is it unprecedented? I don't know. I'd have to look. I'm not up on my severe weather history as I am with hurricane history, but boy, for January 9th of any given year to have that kind of a threat, wow. And then the wind threat, that is a lot of areas. We're going to be talking about massive areas without power. Travel by any method is going to be very difficult, not only in the plains, but also in the southeast, the Gulf Coast. Huge disruptions. Patience is going to be needed if you're trying to fly. Good luck with that. The major hubs are all going to be disrupted, and the ripple effect will continue for days probably. So the severe threat is absolutely worth hyping up. Again, all alarm bells, whatever you want to call it, any metaphor to throw at it, you need to be watching this closely today, tonight, tomorrow night. All right? So looking over here at Twitter, I found this over at the Weather Prediction Center. The other part of this, obviously, if you just look at the overall chance of moderate winter storm impacts, I don't know, I think it's a major winter storm, but that's my opinion. Very, very high chances here in the nation's midsection, and then again up here in parts of the northeast. But then the flooding down here, a moderate risk of flooding in portions of the Gulf Coast, Mississippi, Louisiana especially. And then tomorrow, parts of the upstate of South Carolina, and then a good chunk of the northeast United States. And that is a big, big problem for obvious reasons. You've got a lot of snow in some areas that's going to melt. You got all this rain coming in. It's been wet up there, generally speaking. The flood threat is also going to be very, very serious. We saw it in Ida. We saw it in recent big heavy rain events over the last couple of years. It seems to be an ongoing thing. So you need to make sure you're ready to do whatever you can. And I'm going to talk to you at the end about our partner, QuickDam, and what you can do now, seriously, to help you. You know, I might be a spokesperson for the company, but it is an amazing set of products, and people are going to need to go get that and be ready. And just be ready to take shelter if they have to evacuate from an area. Planning is needed. It really is. And you've got today through tomorrow, and then it's going to really hit hard. So what do the models look like? Well, here's the GFS. It's a global model. So just to give you a broad view of everything, here's our current storm. The blue is snow. The green is rain. And when you get the rainbow colors in the rain area like that, that's very heavy rainfall rates. So the first storm cuts on through. Tremendous energy in there. Look at all those isobars packed in. Going to have blizzard conditions setting in here in Kansas and elsewhere, parts of the Oklahoma Panhandle, southeast Colorado, northeast New Mexico, the Texas Panhandle, Nebraska. You know, it's just going to be a mess out here. But then the severe threat really going to be concentrated around here and then up into this area today, tonight, tomorrow. And then all that heavy rain, look at that. It goes up into the northeast, and you can see that very clearly. These rain rates, that's what this is showing. This is in millimeters per hour, but this shows us, when I see that, it's just an immediate response. Wow, look at that heavy, heavy precip over areas that are saturated already. We're talking about a big population area. This is going to be a big story, big impacts, and there's just no other way around it. People need to pay attention. Then this storm goes on away. The next one comes in, and this one looks like another potential major blizzard possibility for parts of the Great Lakes region, down through Indiana, maybe through Missouri there, Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, and then maybe a monster lake effect storm, because these lakes up here are not frozen to any degree just yet. Literally. Very, very little ice cover. So the potential for huge lake effect plumes, look at them there. You can see the plumes in the global model. This isn't even a high resolution model. Lots of lake effect. This is going to continue as the Arctic air spills down and does its thing, and this is just through the next 6 days. So like I said, I'm covering it out here in Kansas. Oh, look, it started snowing on our cam right outside my window there. So I'm in Dodge City, working with one of our supporters, a good friend of the project, been a supporter of ours for a long time now. His name is Scott, and he's from Columbia, South Carolina. We have been out here for a couple of days. We had to get out here early ahead of the first system that went through, and we set up some cameras. You see some of those rotating through, and we got 3 of them. We got Dodge City. We have one just west of Pratt and one in Garden City, and we're going to be out here for the next day or two. And this blizzard's going to set in. Doing some reporting on Fox Weather, of course, and I'm posting stuff on our Discord. This is our HurricaneTrack Insider site. So all of our patrons that invest and support the project financially with ideas, with encouragement, and some of them that help build stuff, that's what they get access to. This is our insider site. We've also got our map here, our interactive map. These are the cameras that we've got. One of them, the one west of Pratt, we've got a Kestrel drop sensor attached to it, so we're keeping track of the air temperature. The air pressure is station pressure. It's not adjusted. So 932 millibars is very low because we're up in elevation. It's just station pressure. But the temperature just west of Pratt there, and that's railroad tracks to the right, still 37 degrees. Didn't bring one for the other cams. We have several of these. We use them in hurricanes. Here's my shot here in Dodge City. Starting to snow just a little bit. It'll stick as the intensity picks up. And just 50-odd miles west, northwest in Garden City, look at that. I mean, that's literally only about 56 miles from here. And that's not up in the mountains. That is an incredible testament to how the weather can change out here. That's no joke. So this is Dodge City right now, outside my hotel. This is at the edge of the parking lot of our hotel. The camera's in the back of our pickup truck. And then just 50 and some change miles up the road, Highway 50 there. I just took it recently. That's what you got. Wow. All of this is going to be continuing to slide east across Kansas and the rest of a good part of the southern plains and elsewhere and be a real big problem. And that's going to set off all that energy. Wind problems down here, the severe weather, and then tomorrow the severe weather in parts of the rest of the southeast. So very, very problematic. Look, I try to help you. And again, as they say, full disclosure, yeah, it's not a sponsor. QuickDam, they're a partner, like I had with Lowe's for all those years. Yes, I am paid, but I really like what they do, and this is very helpful. They've got the testimonials. It is water-activated flood mitigation. It's not sandbags. You can't load up dozens and dozens of sandbags. It's very difficult to do. You can run to Lowe's, Home Depot, right now, in those areas where the flood waters are going to be coming, and you can get these products. And you water activate them, they're very easy, and then you can hold on to them for months, even through hurricane season. Store them somewhere, and they're not going to smell bad. They're not going to need some weird environmental disposal problems. You know, it is a great product, and I highly recommend it because it can help. It really can. They got a lot of solutions for a lot of different things. I'll put a link to their website in the description of today's video. Very proud to work with them because they've got something that can actually help people, and it has. So again, pay attention, be ready. If you know people that are in these areas and they might be blowing it off, whatever, you need to, like, you know, almost like hitting them in the head with a frying pan, so to speak. Wake up! Pay attention! This is that. This is a Category 3 or 4 hurricane coming into the southeast or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, this is really worth the hype and the attention. It is not overdone. It's not for ratings. It's real. And you know that expression, the FAFO? I'm not going to tell you what it means because we try to keep it clean here. You don't want to do that because you will find out if you take this as, they're just hyping it up. No, that's not the case. All right? All right, I'll be out and about doing my thing over here in parts of Kansas and elsewhere. I'll keep you updated. I do post on Twitter. We have our Discord that's part of our Patreon as well. If you're interested in joining that, you go to patreon.com/HurricaneTrack or get the Patreon app and sign up through there. A lot of interactivity, a lot of engagement. Oh, I wanted to show you this before I let you go because I almost forgot. This is what the roads look like. Put a GoPro on the front of the rental. Got a nice Tundra. This is what the roads look like. This is 50 leaving Garden City, heading back east towards Dodge City. This is what the roads look like. Not terrible, I know, but getting there. But then as we got into Dodge City, everything pretty much cleaned up. And look at the visibility is getting kind of low there as the snow blowing across the road. So yeah, we'll end on that note. All right, Mark Sutton with Hurricane Track. From all of us at the team here, we appreciate you tuning in. Good luck, stay safe, stay aware, and I'll talk to you again with another update tomorrow.